doing it like that gave me a bunch of time back because I'm not covering, chapter 2 is actually fairly long, all the chemistry stuff you got to go through, and so it just takes a while to get through it. So I cut that out, and I only covered. I did have a week's worth of material from that, but it was like the highlights. These are the things that I absolutely 100% know will come up again some other time. If you do not understand these things, you're screwed, kind of deal. And so I think that was helpful to be able to do. And then, then the rest of I sort of break them down into like small chunks as possible, so that they take it 100 point. Well, the first test is 60 points. So that makes the first 2 tests worth 100, and then they have exams 2, 3, and 4 are worth 100 points apiece. Labs worth 240 points, so it's a little less than 40% of their grade, and Connect assignments are worth 60 points. And for the Connect assignments, as far as the ones that get points for, it's the Learn Smart Prep or Learn Smart reading assignments, the Smart Book assignments. They have to do. I do those regularly. Basically, my classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, and I'll use the fall as an example. So they're Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 o'clock. And so what will happen is the Learn Smart Prep will open up, or Learn Smart Prep, the Learn Smart Book assignment for the stuff that we covered that day, or the stuff we're going to cover the next day, depending on the material. I sort of have an idea of what the material that I'd rather than read ahead of time, the material I'd rather than review. So it's sort of like a gut thing at that point. But I'll open it up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So it's right after class starts because I don't want them doing it during class. So it opens up at 9 a.m. and it closes the next class day, so Wednesday, at 11:45 p.m. And it's like that the entire semester. So they get into a habit of doing it. It becomes like part of like what their normal is. And it winds up being that there's about 32 reading assignments that it winds up working out to. And so those 32 reading assignments, I only count, they're worth 2.5 points each. So that means you can miss 10 of them and not lose any points in the class, so I don't have to worry about opening things back up for people when they miss it. So I tell them, like, I'm not opening things up for you. You can miss 10. Like, it's not a big deal. I always give extra credit if they do 4 extra that they don't have to do. They can get up to 10 points extra credit, and then they can still miss 6 and still get all the points. And so I'm fine with that. I think that's a reasonable way to do it. But yeah, lab points are quizzes, like weekly quizzes, case history. They have a project they do where they have to build a patient handout that they would explain a disease to somebody if they were, this person just found out they had diabetes type 2. Like, explain what the disease is, why they, what causes it, symptoms, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. What sources do you use for what sources do you use for content outside of the product you adopted? And how often do you look for this content? So basically, are you looking for any additional content online? Or is there even anything that you are creating?
I will occasionally create like the equivalent of like a YouTube video, and I'll post it for them to watch. We can do that within our LMS. They have this Kaltura, which allows us to record and then go from there. It actually will, like the ones that we have. There's a new one that they're using. It's not Kaltura. They just told. I'm on the ADA committee and stuff like that. They just told us about it, and I can't remember. Anyways, I don't remember what it's called, but it learns what the way. Like you set up what your accent is, which is really funny. They literally have a Southern like U.S. thing, which I was so excited for. I thought, oh my God, finally. And so you set it up for that, and then you go in and you do a 5-minute lecture, and then you go back and correct the what you did say. It types out what they thought you said. You correct it, and then you do it again, and you do it again. About the third time of doing that, it learns with the way you talk, and it stops making mistakes on the captions. And so, which would be really neat, because the captioning service we have now it catches about 80% of the words correctly, and then doesn't get the bulk of that right. So like, it's awful. Like the students laugh anytime I post a video. They're always sending me Snapchats of the words and like what it says at the bottom because it's just completely wrong. And it's like, well, maybe I need to enunciate. I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry. But so that's sort of the only thing that I add. I like in lecture, I tend to tell stories and things like that. And so often I'll read like a book or a news article, and I'll sort of just bring it up, but it's not like I'm assigning it anyway. It's more of this is interesting. Let me explain how this works and how that applies to what we're talking about right now, kind of thing. But I don't tend to find outside content that I'm asking them to assess or to read or that I'm going to test them over. I feel like the textbook has the content that's necessary for them to understand. Does that make sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So next up, are your students going anywhere outside of the product they're using for content? So do you know if your students are looking anywhere online or?
Yeah. What is his name? There's oh gosh, it's driving me crazy now. There's a guy who does a series of like oh, this is gonna drive me nuts. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, he does a series of kind of teaching videos, usually 15 minutes long, where he covers he goes through and he talks about the different sciences. He's done one for geology, he's done one for this, and he made one for anatomy. And what is it called? Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Oh gosh, hold on a second. It's gonna kill me. I have to actually look it up. I better Google it. It'll be one of the first ones because it's one of the most popular ones. And they like his videos. He's funny, and he like sort of tells like random stories. What in the world? Crash Course. Yeah, that's what it is. It's called Crash Course Anatomy and Physiology, and he does a bunch of them. The guy's great, and he's funny, and he has incredibly good animators. They're sort of cartoony animators, and they like draw things and sort of go through it. They're fairly well done as far as like the content goes. They obviously a lot of people watch them, so the accuracy is really high. There's not a problem with it not being the correct. There's nothing in there that's wrong, but sometimes he doesn't cover all the material that I would, or he focuses on something that's not important to me, or he's talking about something that I think is just sort of like, well, who cares? Nobody cares about that. And so a lot of the students will watch that, and I'll get questions based off what he asked. So, or what the stuff that he talked about. So it's almost funny because it's like I need to watch them too, so that I know what people are going to ask me about. And,
yeah.
But I mean, they're really well done, and so they use that extensively, and that's probably their favorite thing. And it's because it's like they do a whole body system in 15 minutes, like as an overview. And I don't know, if I had a good animator, I'd probably make my own. Like I think they're that like useful. And so, but and the guy, his name's Hank Green. That's his name. He's hilarious. And he's really intelligent. He does all these different like things. So they're well done.
Good.
That's pretty much it, though. Honestly, I honestly try to encourage them to stay within the content of like that I post for them on Connect, like because I feel like they're less likely to get led astray or confused or worry about something that doesn't matter. But
sure.
That doesn't, how that goes.
Yep.